Hello, Realtors. This is Tony Geraci, broker and owner of Century 21 HomeStar, and thank you very much for watching this video today. Today, the topic is all about work and life balance, because I know that's the number one thing busy realtors or realtors think about before they get busy is how am I going to balance this business. So with coaching so many realtors that are new, that are experienced, but the number one thing that always comes up is work and life balance and what to do with that when you have to make decisions for your personal life or your work. Because the number one thing I see agents doing is trying to, when they're building their business or when they get busy, they kind of start dropping everything personally and family-wise, because as soon as the business calls, they drop everything else and go after the business. Now that's important, but I'm going to give you some tips and some ideas to think about. Again, I've been in the business 28 years and I've been coaching realtors for over 22 years now. And these are some of the things and tips and things I've learned in researching so many agents over the years. So number one, there's four kind of categories that I put everything in. There's your work, there's kids, if you have kids, family and friends, I kind of group them together. And then the one thing that a lot of us forget about is finances, is putting that balance in the finances. And I'll give you some examples of that. But first, with work, you have to have, of course, a schedule, a daily schedule of what you're going to accomplish for the day, and put it in an area, put it in a time frame of what you want to accomplish that day. Of course, during a normal 9 to 5 day, or when we're realtors, it's a lot of nights and weekends. So your 9 to 5 is really 9 to 9, 9 to 10, 9 to midnight. A lot of us that are watching this now know I've been working on transactions till midnight or past midnight on things. So our work days are hectic. So number one thing, again, remember to schedule things that you want to accomplish throughout the day for your work. Now, secondly, with your kids and your family and friends, you have to start scheduling things. So if you have children, as I know of having children, that their needs and wants always come first before ours, and their schedule, their school, their sports, their events, their things that they want to do with their friends and with other family members. So you got to sit down with your kids and say, every day I need to know what you want to do. I know there's going to be things coming up, but we can't pivot 180 degrees at like 5:30 and go, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that, because you have your day planned and you try to get your kids on a schedule. I know they have their sports and their school, and a lot of things are on schedule, but sometimes I know it, all of a sudden they're like, hey, my friend is doing this, and they live on the other side of town, and then you got to pick me up again at 9, and then you got to try to show houses between 6 and 9, but I got to get picked up, and then you're spending an hour and a half of your day trying to organize other people, and especially your children sometimes. I know we love to do it, but when you're busy, and you have to go out and show houses or go on listing appointments, you really need to sit down with your family and say, we have to get me, who's a realtor, on a schedule, because I can't, I might, it's 6 o'clock, it's 6:15, it's 7 o'clock, I have showings tomorrow. I can't, if we have this plan, I'll get you here, but if all of a sudden something changes, just to be aware that tomorrow I have meetings. So you have to keep your children and your immediate family updated on what your schedule is. You could get a board in the house and put down when you're working and where you're going to be, so they know that if something changes in their schedule, it's going to be hard for you to drop everything and help them out. Now, with family and friends, I'm not talking about your immediate family, your spouse and your children, or your direct family that might come over to your house all the time, unexpectedly, your parents and in-laws, but spending time with family and friends is, of course, important to do. You have to schedule it. I know it sounds terrible to some people that you have to schedule it. I have my whole year planned out. With family and friends, I have every day in a spreadsheet from 1, 2, 3 every day of the month, and I look at my overall schedule, and then I start calling my family and friends. I go, I really want to spend time with you. I have time, and in my schedule, I'm a busy schedule with family and kids and work, but I would love to go out to dinner or see you or do this. March 9th? Can you do March 9th? And a lot of us sometimes feel that's so not genuine, but I really feel it is. I really feel if you sit down and talk to some family and friends and go, listen, my busy schedule as a realtor, I'm working 7 days a week, almost 24 hours a day, because at nights and weekends, it's always, I want to schedule time with you, and I can't do this sporadically. Like, hey, what are you doing tonight? You're a lot of our friends and family have 9 to 5 jobs and don't understand that you work nights and weekends a lot. So sit down with them, understand, and those family and friends, there's a lot of them that say, we don't plan, and I'm sorry, we don't plan. We just wait till Friday and figure out what we're going to do. And you really sit down and really, please plan a day for me and our family and to get together and do things for you, because my weekends, I can't just wait till Friday to figure out, because I'm planning my work weekend and what I'm going to be doing then. And I don't want to miss out on anything. So again, sit down with your family and friends and say, hey, let's plan nights. Could be monthly, weekly, could be every couple months, whatever you feel, and fit everybody in that you need to fit in. And of course, during that time, you're going to find out there's like, wow, there's some family that I really don't see as much, or friends that I really want to see much, and some, not that you don't want to see them less, but you're like, I got to make time for these people that I really want to see more often. And it seems like I keep on falling back onto these family and friends. So when you sit there and oversee your whole schedule for the year, your month, you really get a good perspective on how much time you're really spending with people. Now, last is finances. I know this happens to me, is that the finances, you don't realize when you're planning your work-life balance of doing things with family and friends and kids and this. Sometimes you're just trying to fit everything in, and you don't realize how much money you are spending on doing things with people. So I know from my own personal experience that sometimes I go, oh my gosh, the last 6 months we've gone out to dinner 20 times because we really want to fit everybody in and do things with things, and then realize that, wow, we're going out to dinner every single time we want to do something with someone, and this is costing X amount. And I'm like, we're spending X amount of dollars every year or month or quarter on just seeing people. Now we've got to really get organized with what we're going to be doing with people. So I really oversee that too. I really look at it like, well, okay, we went to dinner with these people. We can't go out to dinner every other week with the same people at the same place if your finances are not there to do it, or you just don't want to budget that amount. And especially with kids and your family too. Like sometimes you fit in like just doing things and spending money on doing things. You're like, wow, let's just do things. Let's go to a movie. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And you forget about just relaxing at home, going for a walk, going for a hike, doing things that don't cost money. You realize that doing things that cost money sometimes are easy to do, fast to do. Of course, everybody wants to do it, but then you do at the end of the month or quarter or year, you go, oh my gosh, how much money did I spend on just making sure I saw people and spend time with the people I want to. So make sure you watch your finances, because you could also, if you budget for that, if you want to budget for it, you don't have to, but if you really want to look at your finances, you got to sit down and go, hey, my budget or our budget as a family for spending time with family and friends, going out and doing things is X amount per month, per week, per year. And keep track of that, because it goes fast, especially in real estate. When you're working 9 to 9, 9 to midnight, and you're just fitting in, hey, I got time for dinner. Boom. I got time for drinks. Boom. I'm trying for a movie here. And then it just seems like you're going out and spending money all the time. So watch your budget on that, because as an independent contractor, as your own business, you can see I'm out there working hard and making money, but why is my balance and my bank account not going up with my money? I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much money I am spending because I'm so busy working and doing things and not watching the finances. So you could really, when you watch your finances, keep track of what you're doing, schedule things with family and friends. You could really have a great work-life balance. And of course, always make sure you're doing what makes you happy. Make sure you're not working too hard. Make sure you're spending enough time with family and friends when you want to. Or you know that in real estate, if you've been in it more than a few years, you know what times of the year are busier than others. You know, you could even get it down to the week. I know what weeks are busier, what days are busier. You know, holidays, kids going back to school, getting out of school. There's certain times of the year within a few weeks it gets slow because other people are not, they're busy doing their own lives and things in there. So you could start planning things during those weeks. It could be your vacations. Those could be the times that you really put way ahead of time. Like, hey, that's what I do with my family. I know being in real estate, when I schedule my family trips, they're kind of on the off seasons of things, because that's when when families and realtors are busy. I have to be available and can't just be out taking a week off and be unavailable on those busy weeks. So you know that when you've been in real estate a while. So again, those 4 things. Look over your work schedule for the day, for the week, for your month. I know there's things that are going to be popping in and out, but you make sure that you have what you want to accomplish. 2, you look at your kids. Make sure they're scheduled in your phone, in your schedule. They're in there too. Let them know your schedule so they can't pivot on you and all of a sudden you're dropping work or things are not getting done because they changed something. They're aware of what your schedule was, and make sure your spouse or significant other knows that too. Schedule time with family and friends as far in advance as possible. Make sure it's there and schedule it, and ask those friends and family that always say, well, we're sporadic. We just don't figure out what we're going to do in the future. We plan our week to week. Well, sit them down and go, please, I really would love to see you, and please schedule that. And then last, again, finances. Watch your finances. Have a budget for having that work-life balance, because if you don't watch that budget, you're always going to be struggling with getting ahead in savings and saving for the future, because you don't realize how much you're spending on doing things with family and friends when you're not paying attention to that. So that's it for today. Hopefully that some of those tips help you with your work-life balance. Remember, if you want more to dig deeper and talk directly and find out, my take and my experience and my tips on how you personally and your work-life balance, I'm happy to use me as a resource. Feel free to call, text, email me, instant message me, and I'm happy to help. So that's it for today. Have a wonderful week, and I hope to see many of you very soon. Bye-bye.